Today I am going to revise chapter number 4 from your moment book, In the Kingdom of Fools. It is rightly said that a wise enemy is better than a foolish friend. Yes, this is true, and we will learn this thing in this story. In the kingdom of fools, both the king and his minister were fools. They wanted to do something new, so they ordered the people to sleep all day and keep awake at night, plough their fields, and run their business. One day, a guru and his disciple arrived in the city. Even though it was a sunny day, they saw no one about. Roads were deserted. Even the cattle were asleep. It was a big surprise for them. But by the evening, the whole town woke up and went about their daily business. Since the strangers were hungry, they went to buy food. They were delighted to find that everything was very cheap and cost the same, only one dudu. After they had cooked and eaten their supper, the wise king felt very uneasy. He felt that it was not safe to live in a city of fools. But the disciple was food freak. He did not agree. He wanted to stay there. So the guru went away. The stupid disciple ate lots of bananas, rice, wheat, and ghee, and he grew fat, very fat. One day, a thief broke into a rich merchant's house. He entered through a hole in the wall. When he was carrying out his loot, the wall collapsed and killed him on the spot. His brother complained to the king against the merchant who had made a weak wall. He demanded compensation as well as justice. The foolish king called the merchant to the court. The merchant accepted that the wall was weak, but he blamed the bricklayer for making the weak wall. And then bricklayer was called to the court. The bricklayer passed on the blame to a dancing girl who had been going up and down the street all day, and the sound of her anklets distracted his mind. The dancing girl was an old woman now. She agreed that she had walked up and down the street while the wall was being built, but she could not help it because it was lazy goldsmith who was causing delay in making her ornaments. Then the foolish king called the goldsmith. The goldsmith also passed this blame to the rich merchant who wanted his orders to be finished at the earliest. The rich merchant was the same person whose wall had been killed the burglar. He agreed that not he, but his late father had ordered the jewelry. Then the king consulted his minister and ruled that somebody had to be punished in place of the late father of the merchant. He immediately ordered for a new stake to be built. At the last moment, the minister said that the merchant was too thin to fit the stake. So the search for a fat man began, and the disciple was found fat and fit for execution. So the disciple was brought to the execution place. The disciple remembered his wise guru who possessed magic powers. He arrived and insisted on being executed first. The disciple also made the same demand. The king was taken aback. The guru told him the secret. The one to die first would be the king in next life, while the second person to die would be his minister. The king was lost in deep thought. He did not want to lose the kingdom to someone else in the next life. So he made a plan with his minister. They set the guru and his disciple free, and in disguise they went to the stake at night. Next day, when their bodies were taken down to be thrown to the crows and vultures, the people recognized them as their king and minister. They mourned and discussed about the future of the kingdom. They caught up with the Guru and his disciple and crowned them as the king and his minister. The new rulers changed all the old laws. The night and day were observed as in any other place. Secondly, nothing could be bought for a dudu, and people of the kingdom agreed. And I think this is all about the story that you have